I am back on because I want to talk about the retrograde symptoms and some of the symptoms that's coming in with the eclipse. So welcome, welcome, welcome. First, let's talk about Saturn and how it's affecting us in our body. Saturn affects you through the spinal cord, through the skeletal cord, I should say. You'll feel stiff throughout the back of your body and through your shoulders. It will resonate from your tailbone up into your shoulders and also into your head, the vertebrae up in here. The vagus nerve is affected by Saturn's energy. This is a way to actually get used to who you are and how energies are affecting you when you start looking at how the planetary energy affects you. And the best way is to look at RX, the time, like right now, because you feel Saturn more during the RX. And then there is Pluto. Pluto went retrograde around the end of April. Pluto, I have taken awareness to my body over the years and, documented that it gives you feelings of allergic reactions and symptoms in your body. All of these factors play a part on how the body is acclimating towards transformation, or if we are holding it back. Also, the foods that you eat, that Pluto energy and all of the others, but I'll say Pluto predominantly will tell you at a certain point in life what is going to help you and what is not going to help you. Why is this? Because Pluto is the planet of regeneration. It tells you about trash in your body and outside of it. It also will tell you what you're not to eat because of the effects that it has on your body. The energy in the RX time will tell you that. Pluto will also make you feel like you're hungry and you want more. This is going to also play a part in Gemini, but I want to stay with Pluto. The reason why Pluto will play a part in that because it's obsessive. So these are energies. Even at this time, people will say, "Oh my God, the retrograde is here." The retrograde is a time where definitely there's a slowdown, and it's for our observation of ourselves, right? Even if you didn't know that, it is so, because this is a time when you can transform your life. It's very applicable to the biblical aspects of what we should be learning for cellular advancement. So Pluto can be obsessive. It will think about things or have you thinking about things that are negative or sexual in negative connotations, predatorial, that you need to get under control, but it also will let you know your obsessions to food. It will make you want to eat in certain times. And because Gemini is not just retrograde, but the North Node is there, what Gemini's reaction with Pluto and Saturn is going to be, Gemini has to do with the respiratory system, the hands, the thoughts. It really plays a big part in the whole body because it works with the immune system. And so when we look at just the three signs retrograde right now, you can begin to document that, Mercury always makes you feel like I'm thinking all the time. But hey, Destiny. But Mercury has you flying, right? It has you thinking. You can't stop, but you can stop if you look at the fact that you have to discipline the energy of the planets. That means that even in RX, it's going to go like that. It's going to work beneficial in RX to people that have RX because they'll have clearer thinking. But I want to stay with the fact of what Mercury does. Like Mercury rules over areas of your respiratory system, the lungs. So people that have had childhood asthma, they have sinusitis, they can look at these areas. Even people that have had leukemia, Mercury can be behind this, and Saturn can play a part of it. And people might say, well, how do you know this? Because I paid attention to my body. That's why I kind of like talk to people, in my groups and in my coaching sessions. And I get into these areas, but it's becoming more of an advancement for me where I can see that I mentally looked at my mind, which is Mercury, not knowing that I was a multitasker because in the past I did this, but Mercury was a part of a predominant area in my chart, which is North Node. Then when I look at Jupiter RX, Jupiter RX is coming up by the end of the month. Jupiter is another predominant aspect in my chart. It rules over what I do in health services, advocating for individuals that are less fortunate because the political system does that to us. So a person with Jupiter in their chart could become someone that deals with political issues. They don't have to just be a lawyer, which is most cases liars. They can go into law to advocate for the righteousness of people and the oppressive issues that we deal with. Now, when we go into Jupiter in the body, what happens is that Jupiter actually will give you effects in your body concerning the sciatic nerve, your leg. You will have problems or seeming problems with your leg. It may seem that your Achilles heel is bothering you. The Achilles is attached to Aquarius, by the way, but going back to Jupiter, you'll have lower back pains. And so with Jupiter and Saturn both being our ex, people will find themselves slowing down. It doesn't matter what sign they are. They will find themselves slowing down simply because of the body feeling the energy, and the energy is saying, slow down. Slow down what? Slow down and recognize what's going on in your body. Why? So that you can transform some things. RX is a time with the generational planets such as Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter to transform your old situations, period. If you start with your body recognizing what's going on in your body, I know that you'll feel what I'm saying. Even people with teeth challenges with Saturn, they begin to see this here. Sinus problems come up with Mercury retrograde and Saturn because they're both a part of these issues with the face. And I know that Aries rules the head, but I didn't bring Aries up because it's not retrograde. Aries retrograde brings up a lot of anger. You have to master. But anyway, going back to Pluto, Pluto wants you to trash old stuff because the planet of death and life, you know, like the Bible will tell us that life and death is in the power of the word. It really is. But what is the word that you need to actually find here with Pluto? Because in order for you to move forward, you got to let go of something, and it could be food. Again, the obsession to what? Lust, hurting others. It's an obsession. What is your obsession? Are you obsessive with thinking? Is Pluto and Mercury conjoined together, giving you some problems? They could be, at adversity. But anyway, the thing is seeing how it's affecting your mind when you think too much. That's an obsessive, compulsive type of thing. And yes, for me, it is very important because I teach people about these challenges. If you're obsessively thinking about something, you have compulsive disorders, you might look in your chart and find that you have Scorpio somewhere. Saturn, you might be rigid. And the reason why you feel stiff, or in the Bible where it says stiff-necked people, it really isn't off, it's stiff-necked because no one knows that Saturn is asking for you to do something with that energy. Do you need to loosen up? Have more humor, maybe be less rigid, find balance there, right? Your back and your shoulders will lessen up. You might, or with the intenseness. You might look at movies to laugh more. With your tailbone hurting, you might be at work and you want to get up and walk around more if there's pressure there, because the pressure is there because there's a need to release something. Working out, you want to do that. You don't want to overdo it with RX there. You want to be moderate with it, because if there's pain in the tailbone, you don't want to push yourself too much. Now, I'm not a doctor, but I do understand the organs in the body. So the disclaimer is there for you to not take what I'm saying as a doctor, but to look at yourself and begin to understand why some of the pains are going on. Yes, you're going to go to the doctors for allergic reactions, but I can tell you that you're going to begin to know your body. If you had skin disorders, Pluto, it doesn't matter if you have a predominant sign there. It is Pluto, because there's some toxin in the body that needs to go. Allergic reactions, Pluto. Um, Inflammation, yeah, from food. I had to stop eating different foods when I was in my early 30s, and it progressed on into my 40s where I can't eat meat. And I suggest to people to eat by your blood type, because you'll know a little bit more how to sustain and bring yourself into a comfort living where you don't have to be, like swole up. It's not, a lot of people are not overweight. They're swollen because of eating food that is not agreeable with their body. So Mercury, again, it has to do with your respiratory system. That's serious. That's a lot. It deals with sinuses, circulation, and Saturn is a part of that. The circulation of the blood is there. All of them connect. This is just 3 or 4 of them that I brought up because of the RX, and because symptoms are there, including the eclipse that we've had in Sagittarius, and here the one we just had in Gemini. What is that saying to us? Cutting away things. Sometimes we're needing to cut away what we're eating. Sometimes the allergic reaction can't be the people that we have around us. Sometimes we can't breathe because of the people, you know what I'm saying, or because of the way that we think. All of this here is something to think about. And I encourage you to think about if you're having breathing challenges, if you had asthma as a child, knowing you could go back and look at the patterns and say, well, wow, I have Mercury in my chart right here and what it's doing. If you had Mercury, and I just want to stay there. I don't want to go into anything more about Mercury, but just the fact of the matter, knowing that it deals with your respiratory system, that's solid. That's a lot to deal with, because if you have an allergic reaction and you're not paying attention to it, then, and Pluto has been trying to tell you that's not good for you, even in the context of situations where you work, relationship, it's discernment. Then what happens is that you could kind of like put yourself in a position where things aren't working well in life for you. So I just wanted to come in and talk about that. I'll probably come back on because there's a lot going on and I'm getting a lot of information. But you guys be blessed and pass this information on. Become a part of our tribe, you know what I'm saying? Where you can learn deeper matters, because I got some information that my people know about concerning the mysteries. Yeah, concerning the mysteries. So anyway, Pluto retrograde, Saturn retrograde, Mercury retrograde, and Jupiter, what it does to the body. And again, remember, here, Jupiter plays a part on the sciatic nerve. A lot of people are getting diagnoses, and the sciatic nerve just needs to be worked gently. I mean, you can equate it to times when Jupiter was in retrograde before. how you felt, or when Jupiter was conjunct Saturn and Pluto. You'll know majorly people had back pains. You know what I'm saying? And I'll add one more to it that's not retrograde. People that are Taurus, so that you can really understand. Taurus individuals have problems with back. They may have back, accidents with where their back is affected and their shoulders. Why am I telling you this? Because that way we come more into a homeopathic thought process and stop killing ourselves with drugs. All right. So blessings, and I will talk to you guys soon.